Okay. Yes. There's driver.
End zone.
Touchdown, Packers. Woo!
Donald Driver.
Yes.
Donald Driver's going to come through the middle.
Oh, he's wide open too, right over the middle.
Then is Michael Boley.
Oh, nice toss, nice toss.
It's just that he's got his back to the ball, and Aaron Rodgers knows that, so he throws it off of his
back
helmet.
In the game. Sites such as seen previously would not have been an option if the NFL lockout would have continued. In 2011, the NFL Players Association and the owners could not come to agreements on terms of a new collective bargaining agreement, which led to an eventual lockout and threatened the start in the entire 2011 season. They were hung up on many points, such as how to spend millions of dollars on if the owner should get the money or if the player should get the money. I personally believe that the player should get the money because people do not come to the games to watch the owners play. They come to watch the players play. And these players are risking their lives, going 100 miles an hour, tackling each other, and just getting straight up crushed over the middle. It's estimated that playing just 5 years in the NFL will take about an average of 20 years or so off your life. And if that's not bad enough, there's also an increase of dementia, depression, and Alzheimer's. All three which nobody should have. Nobody should have those ailments. Now, not only would the lockout affect the players and the owners wouldn't get paid, the players wouldn't get paid, and the fans wouldn't be able to watch TV. It also affected many more people than most would think. It's estimated that it would cost each city about $160 million in 32 cities. So each city would have $160 million less than they had the previous year or any other year with football in there, like with football fans and everybody coming into the city. Now, $160 million sounds like a lot of money, but when you multiply that by 32, which is the amount of teams that are in the NFL, it comes out to $5.12 trillion, which is roughly a third of the national federal deficit, which would just add on more. Now, not only would it affect monetarily, there'd be about 115,000 people without jobs. This would include the stadium cleaners, the vendors, the people that park, but the money would not just come from people's salary, but it would also come from areas such as the local bar that would be feeding and serving people on game days, and it would also come from the people that have parking spots in front of their house. They would be losing out money. So in essence, everybody wanted the NFL season to happen, whether you were a player or an owner. Now, the owners had an interesting point of view. Written in a blog by Bob Long, who covered this the entire time, he stated that the owner should be getting paid more money because the players are not partners. Partners share the startup cost, partners help cover losses, and partners share in the risk. The players are not partners because they have no involvement in these aspects of the NFL organization. Now, I agree with what he's saying there, that the owners, it goes like owners and then managers, coaches, managers, players, and like the way that it's set up. However, as I stated earlier, the owners aren't the ones getting tackled or throwing 40-yard touchdown passes. It's the players. The players are, yes, like as I said earlier, putting their life at risk every single Sunday for our entertainment. The quote that I said earlier by Bob Long, I just don't agree with his overall point of views. He doesn't consider the players to be partners, and he later considers them to be employees. And he thinks that this extra money should be spent towards the owners and not towards these employees, although all of the risks associated. I believe that he just needs to rethink his thoughts of alignment on this. The players are obviously in a much higher risk situation than than the owners, and the coaches for that matter. But I believe that the owners are the ones that make the decision. So instead of making a decision to build a $975 million stadium as the Vikings are doing or planning on doing, they could, if they wanted to, decrease that money, and then they would make more money off the stadium faster instead of building this huge mega stadium that will draw a lot of fans' attention, but it will also add to long-term costs. Now, I think what should have been done instead is that's fine if he supports the owners, but I think the fact that he goes as far as calling the players employees of the owner is what I disagree with. In most sports around the world, the players are held just as high, if not higher, as the coaches. And millions of dollars are spent not only on the players, but like with signing bonuses and everything like that. The part that I'm hung up most with about this quote is the fact that he goes as far, he later continues saying, the minute that a player such as Tom Brady contributes $2 million to the net loss of a franchise is then when he'll consider them partners. Now, that's ridiculous to ask if he would consider them employees, as he does, ask an employee to pay for part of the company. That would be like asking a fry cook at McDonald's, if they had a bad lunch, to pay $5 to help cover their offset fee of their lunch that ran short of what they were estimating. This is just a simply ludicrous comparison, and overall, this entire quote invalidates his entire argument. And yet, the owners are the ones that want more money. And the owners don't want just a little bit more money. They're asking the players to decrease their pay roughly 18%. And this is ridiculous because the owners already get paid millions of dollars in like stadium fees and network television fees and even primetime games. They all add up to extra money. And the owners want the players to take less money. And not only do they want them to take less money, they also want to add 2 more games. Now, there's already 16 games in an NFL season. In this, playing 3 years of, or the average NFL player plays about 3.6 years, and for every 3 years they play, they get 5 years of extra health care. So, if you're an average football player, you play for 3 years and only get 5 years of health care covered. But if the season's extended to 18 games, this would obviously add 2 more games of hard hitting, or just getting hard hitting onto your body in like which way a body cannot normally handle this. So I simply don't see why the owner should be getting paid much. It should be getting paid more. The owners are the people that decided to keep, or are the ones that are causing the lockout. The players obviously want to play. The fans obviously want to watch football. And the owners just want to get paid. They just can't settle on what bottom line they want. In the end, they did reach an agreement that everybody received what they want and everybody was happy. So, lucky for us, we do have football, and we should have football for another 5 years. Go Packers.